Hey, 7 Only Days Essentials, how are you? March is Stop the Madness. And what are we talking about? We're talking about hormones. Stop the madness that comes with women having unbalanced, improper balance of their endocrine system. And I'm going to help you with some things today. I have had a tried and true system for several years now. I tinkered with it until I got it exactly where I wanted it. And I have been really happy with it since. I'm 50 years old. And so the fact that I have a 28-day cycle every month in and month out, I really believe that Young Living is a part of the reason why I am where I am. And let's be honest, as we age, and those hormones are so important for so many functions, I personally want to be able to stay in balance and keep those hormones flowing the way that I need to for as long as I can. And you may not feel that way, but regardless of how you feel, let's take those hormones and let's put them in balance, and then let's reevaluate. Okay, so first and foremost, I use this beauty every day, Endoflex. Endoflex is used every day. And the reason for that is because it supports the endocrine system. And regardless of what needs production within my body, it helps support that. We have estrogen, we have progesterone, and we have testosterone. Yep, women too. So we need to have all of those in balance. And this is a beautiful way to do that. My body reads this and says, oh, I know what I need. Landis needs a little of this, and then it will begin to be able to support that function and production of that particular hormone. So I use this. Sarah Hopkins Johnson has a beautiful story about Endoflex. If you didn't just recently see it, go search for it. It's awesome. I use Endoflex 3 drops every day, 1 on my thyroid and 1 on each adrenal gland. Okay, you can put it in lots of other places. This is just what has worked for me. I use this every day. Day 1 through day 3 of my cycle, I am using Clary Sage. And I mean a lot of Clary Sage. I'm putting it on my wrist right here, 2 or 3 drops at a time, but I may do that every 30 minutes to an hour. Yep, I'm using that much. Why? What does Clary Sage support specifically? The production of estrogen. Day 1, the reason why you started your cycle to begin with is because your estrogen dropped to a low. It's the lowest that it's going to be at any time of the month. Estrogen and progesterone they're inversely proportional. So when my estrogen is at the very base, my progesterone is very high. Those two things have to happen in order for you to start your cycle. Okay? So estrogen is at its low. I want to avoid sometimes the misery that comes when my cycle starts right here. And I want to encourage my body to increase the estrogen and increase it quickly so I don't suffer. All right, so Clary Sage, days 1 through 3, several drops. Days 14 through 28, I'm using Progessence Plus, okay? That is when we ovulate and our estrogen is really high. Okay, let's think about that. So estrogen has been called a woman's happy chemical, okay? Do you think it's a coincidence that your happy chemical comes at the same time that you ovulate? No. I believe in Genesis 1:26, it says, be fruitful and multiply. God did not do that by accident. So when you're happiest is when your estrogen is high and you are ovulating, okay? So you want to start heading towards your cycle. You're at day 14. So you're going to start encouraging your body to produce the progesterone rather, and use your Progessence Plus. I personally use 1 drop a day right here, right on my wrist. If I use more than that, I start my cycle too soon. If I use less than that, I start my cycle too late. For me, 1 drop a day for 14 days is exactly what I need. All right. Days 21 through 28, we have Dragon Time. Yes, this is an old bottle. I have like stock in this. So Dragon Time is what I use, and I use it days 21 through 28. If you remember correctly in health class, that's when they call the syndrome PMS most likely to occur. Why? Your estrogen is headed down, your progesterone is headed up, and as your estrogen heads down, we might get a little bit crabby, you think? So getting a little bit crabby, need some help. Maybe don't drop all at once. Maybe ease your mood and your, how can I put that? Your ability to lash out at someone may improve where you can bite on your tongue and keep your mouth shut. Okay, so that's what Dragon Time does for me. I put this on my abdomen, and personally, I literally go with the bottle, bonk, 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 and I hit my tummy with this. Oh, I'm probably breaking all sorts of rules there. This is my oils, my story. I'm gonna do what I want to do. So I probably put about 3 drops of this every day during days 21 through 28. So at the end of that, what's supposed to happen? Day 1 starts over again. You should start your cycle on day 1. And boom, you're right on track again. Personally, when I did this, my days of my menstrual cycle shortened to 4 to 5 when I had been having 7 to 8. Also, my flow changed. I went from a very, very, very heavy flow, which by the way is a sign of estrogen dominance. I went from a very heavy flow to a moderate flow for 1 day and a light flow for the rest. That's 4 to 5 days, people. We're talking about improvement. Also, that doesn't count other things like, less tenderness and things like that. When you are in balance, then your body functions the way it's supposed to. So I hope these tips have helped you, and that maybe you can perhaps share a great testimony someday on how your cycle and your month came into balance with Young Living. Drop your comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Do you have any great stories that you can add to this particular post? If you do, let me know. Blessings.